Well, the time has finally come to take you on an extensive tour through our brand new titanium HS2, the van that we're going to be taking on our 2025 travels. Cannot wait to show you this one. There is a bunch of new gear in this van, not just for us, but for the caravan market in Australia. Brand new airbag control system. We've tweaked the water system as well to manage our water better off-grid, but best of all, the most badass power system we've ever put into a caravan. You're not going to want to miss that. And then Liz is going to take you through the inside as well.
That's right, so I'm going to show you a little bit more detail on that 3M wrap and how we've customised the interior of our van just for maximising functionality, space and aesthetics when it comes to travelling full-time, off-grid, as a family, indefinitely. We've done heaps of little tweaks, so we're going to show you through all those as well. Thank you so much to everyone who watches the ads on our channel. As you know, 10% of all the ad revenue from this channel goes to the Royal Flying Doctors. Thank you so much for all your support, guys. It makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Anything else I need to add?
No, that's it. And look, stick around because we've got another $500 giveaway. We've been giving away a bunch of $500 vouchers and we've got a heap more coming up this year. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and let's dive in and see what this week's $500 giveaway is. How would you like to go on a $500 shopping spree with our mates at Nakie? That's exactly what you can do if you win our $500 voucher giveaway this week. To enter that competition, all you got to do is be subscribed to our YouTube channel and scan that QR code below, or we'll leave a link in the description as well. Jump over there, chuck your details in, and it's as simple as that. You're in the draw. We're going to run this competition, as always, for 1 week only, so don't muck around. Get over there and get your details in, enter that competition, and you're going to be in that draw to win $500 from Nakie. Don't forget as well, it is only open to Australian residents. Nakie are famous for their hammocks. We carry 2 of their hammocks around with us. Not only are they awesome for chilling out around camp, but the kids absolutely love them and they become like a little play center for the kids. Keeps them busy and entertained for hours, which means we get to sit down and spend more time around camp relaxing. But if it's not a hammock you're after, they also do puffy blankets. These are absolutely awesome around the campfire on a chilly night, or if you need a bit of extra bedding in the van or in your camp setup. This, believe it or not, is a backpack. These are our travel backpacks. We carry 2 of them. That becomes that when you pack it up. Really handy bit of gear for when you're going on a hike and need an extra bag or going down the beach or something like that. They also do picnic rugs, they do sand-free towels. They've got a bunch of awesome outdoor products that we know you guys are going to love. And for every product you buy, Nakie is going to plant some trees for you on your behalf. So this product here, they all have it on their tag, 4 trees planted just by buying one of their products. Absolutely awesome. We love brands that are out there doing the right thing by the environment. Awesome little Aussie company. We've been using their gear for years. Absolutely love it. Jump over, check out the range of Nakie gear today, enter that competition, get yourself $500, go on a bit of a shopping spree. But if you do miss out, there's also our discount code down there for you to use as well, so you can save yourself a few bucks if you want to go on a bit of a shopping spree yourself. Check it out, range of Nakie gear. See you in the video. Alrighty, let's run through some of this pretty quickly. It's all pretty standard affair up here. Up the front, DO35 hitch, same as we've had in all our vans, breakaway chains, all that sort of jazz. 12-pin plug, Anderson for getting charged from the vehicle, but we've also got 2 other Andersons here, one for an external solar input, and this is a power output, so we could use this if we wanted to put a power jockey wheel or something like that on. Drawbar tap there, and this is also where our feed is. It's a bit hard to see under the chassis there, the feed there that goes in through the pressure reducer, and that's where we fill up our water tanks from. We went with the Line-X coating on the chassis, same as what we had on the lone HS2. I think it's by far the best chassis coating we've had. We've had gal, we've had painted, and now we've had this. And there is a bit of a weight penalty and it is expensive, but I think it is well worth it for durability, maintenance, and just look. I think it looks the best out of all of them. We've kept the stone guard, but you'll notice gas bottles are missing. Full electric van again, same as our last titanium. We've deleted gas completely and just gone diesel hot water and heating. And this is our diesel tank up here for that. So 10-litre tank. Lockable filler, and just down next to that you'll see our 3 breathers for our 3 water tank. 3 110 litre water tanks, standard on the HS2. One of those though we've opted to have as a dedicated drinking water tank, so that's got its own supply straight to the sink through its own pump, own filter, so that we can have just a little bit more control over our water supply for areas where we want to get water but we're not 100% sure of its suitability for drinking and for consuming. We can set it aside just to be used for washing up and washing machine and showering and all that kind of thing. If we then do run out of water in those 2 tanks, we can then switch over and draw water from that drinking water tank and use it for everything in the van. Moving along, we got the new toolbox. So there's pretty similar to the toolboxes we've had on the lone HS2 and our last one. They've made a few tweaks in here. They've taken some cutouts of the dividers here just to reduce a bit of weight. It's a fair bit lighter, I think, than the other ones that we've had before. And they've changed the drawer setup here. So this is now a back-to-back drawer. So this drawer slides out the other way as well, and we've got removable dividers in there, so we can sort of set that up how we want for what we need. Probably stores a little bit less gear than when we had the two twin drawers, but a lot more convenient and easy to access and easy to set up. We just keep the kids' toys in here. This has sort of been our setup for a while. And in the back here, most of the gear's not in there that we store, but we've got a portable solar panel. I keep out one of our drinking water hoses in there, and that also fits all our Stratus outdoor gear. So 2 camp chairs, 2 bench seats, and our Stratus table all fits in there, which is pretty bloody handy to have it all stored up the front there. In here is our utility space. This is kind of like my garage. So this bucket, I just keep all our washing gear for washing the van and things. Got our tread leveling kit with all our leveling ramps and stuff like that in it, and our wheel chocks in here as well. We keep them all stored in there, just easy to access and easy to get to. This is where we also have our hydraulics for the disc brakes. So in this one we went with disc brakes, a little bit different to that lone HS2 we had. It had drum brakes in it, so we've gone with discs, which is the same as what I had on our previous titanium. I think by far worth the money. Downside is no ESC, but I think it's well worth the money to go to the disc brake upgrade just for braking performance. It's it's my favourite by far. In here as well, we've got the air compressor for the airbag system tucked at the back there. This is all of our water management system. So we've got 2 water pumps. One of those is just for obsolescence. This side here, this is just our creek pool, so we can plug a hose onto the here and draw straight through this strainer and draw into the tanks, or bypass the tanks and draw straight into the van if we've got a good water supply. But that isolated drinking water tap means that we can creek pull into those other 2 tanks without worrying too much about the quality of the water.
Great for washing.
Yeah, great for being able to do lots of loads of washing and things like that. These 3 valves here, that's our 3 tanks. So that's nominating which tank we want to pull from, or when we fill, this line here coming up from the floor, that's our pressure feed from that tap on the drawbar. If it will feed all the way up into the van, or if I open this valve, it'll divert that water down and I can nominate which water tank I want to fill. A really good flexible water system that allows us to just have complete control over what water's going in where and what's coming out from where. Obsolescence with the pumps. I think it's a really, really good system. Now you might also notice in here, this is pretty new. So this is Cruise Master's new BCS or body control system. So this is basically a digital readout and control system for our airbags. So this will allow us to do a whole range of different things that we just haven't been able to do before. We've always had airbags in our caravans, and I would never have a caravan without airbags. They're absolutely worth every penny, but we've never had an automated control system like this before. This allows us now to automatically horizon level when we get to camp, for one. So when we pull up at camp, I can hit this horizon button here. I'll hit the tick to say I want to proceed. It tells me about the pitch and the roll, so front to back and left to right and ready to level. If I hit that tick, I won't do it now because we've got the legs down and we're at camp, but if I hit that tick, it would then go proceed and get us level to the horizon, left to right, and then it would tell me whether I need to raise or lower the jockey wheel to get us level front to back. It takes seconds and it does it all by itself. So my procedure now, when we pull up at camp, I drop that, I hit that, and then I walk around and I put out the electric awning. More on that in a minute. Then when I'm ready to leave camp, similarly, I can hit travel mode and then hit the tick, and then it will start to try and get us ready for travel. Then there's also obviously a manual mode, so we can manually override any of that and change those settings, obviously air out and everything as well. Now with this system here, there is still some updates coming that we weren't able to get because we've got the disc brakes. They're available now for drum brakes, but one of those is a wheel speed sensor in the wheel. So if you forget to go back to our travel height before we start traveling, it will automatically do it once you go over a certain speed. So that's super handy as a bit of a fail safe. We'll be getting that installed when it's available for disc brakes. That's an upgrade we'll be able to get. There's also, because it's now a digital display, when we go to inflate tyres, we can set it to the pressure we want rather than having to push and hold and keep checking the gauge. We can just tell it like you would at a service station or something like that, plug it onto the tyre, tell it we want a certain pressure, and it'll pump up to that. It'll also do that as a way to deflate tyres to a certain pressure. So super handy for that. And there's an air tool mode as well. well. So it just gives us constant flow from the compressor, high output to run air tools if you needed to do that. The other thing I really like about it, apart from just being super simple to use and really easy to understand, is that it doesn't just give me a pressure in each airbag. You can see there I've got 58 left and 36 on the right. It'll also give me a percentage. I'll just turn the light on in here just to help Liz out with the camera. That might help see things a little bit better. So I'm not just getting a PSI read out of the pressure in each bag, I'm getting a percentage of wheel travel. So I can see where that arm's at. And that makes all the difference when it goes to setting that travel height, is as you're varying the load in the van, it's not going to go and set it just to the same pressure as you had before. If anyone's had airbags before, you'd know that depending on your load, you're going to want a different pressure in the bags to get the same ride height. But because that actually reads the suspension travel, it knows from that it's going to set it to the right travel height every time. So really, really cool piece of kit. I'm very, very excited to have that. For the way we travel, the amount that we're both setting up and packing up camp frequently, but also airing up and airing down, I think it's going to be an absolutely awesome bit of kit to have. Just down here, I have our filters for when we're filling up the tank. So we use the Thirsty Nomad. That's a 1 micron filter on there. Yeah. So that's a 1 micron filter from Thirsty Nomad. I've used them for a while. They're really good. I like that they're clear, so you can see how much sediment. You can tell this one's been used a lot. You can see how much sediment's in there, and the filters inside are interchangeable. So you don't have to throw this whole thing away. You can just get replacement insert filters in there. So you can see that one's a fairly new filter I got in there. You'll see when they're full, it turns brown all the way up to the end there. So a really handy piece of kit. Only downside to these is because they do such a good job filtering, it does slow down the water flow and takes quite a while to fill the tanks. So if you are at a public water fill, you have to be a little bit aware of that. But again, that's the pro to having that separate drinking water tank, is we only really need to go to the effort if we've got a bit of a queue or in a bit of a hurry. We only need to go to the effort of filtering that one tank, and the rest doesn't really matter too much. All right, moving into this nice big storage locker in here. Now in here we've got a huge big storage area. One of the things we love most about this layout, this is just our tread bin we use as a laundry hamper. So as you can see, our washing machine's in here. We've also got storage in here for a whole heap of random stuff. We've got wine bottles, our spare toilet paper. Up the back there's room for the kids' fishing rods and their cricket set and all that sort of stuff. I put down a bit of this. This is just some fake grass from Bunnings, because the floor in here is like a checker plate and it just scratches easily and things slide around on a lot more. So I find the fake grass is good, especially when a lot of sandy gear is going in here. It's easy to just take it out and shake it out. But that's a metre by a metre, so that gives you an idea of how big the space in here is. We've also got the main 240 volt breakers and our big 5,000 watt Victron inverter. So it's an inverter charger essentially, so it gives us a huge amount of power. 5,000 watts. That was a big reason for going the 24 volt battery system in this, which I'll talk more about in a minute. But yeah, it was to feed this big beast of a 5,000 watt inverter, just so we can run multiple appliances, whether it be coffee machine, induction, Thermomix, air conditioning, things like that, all simultaneously. Fly on the lens. We actually find we can run more from the inverter than we can when we're plugged in. So when we're plugged in, we effectively just use that 240 volt charge to charge the batteries as a battery charger, and then we still run all our 240 volt loads off the inverter, because we can actually run more from that than we can from the mains. This is not normally this empty and clean and tidy. I just emptied it out to give you an idea of how much is in here. Normally our Starlink dish fits in here, our outdoor mat, obviously this tread stuff fits in here, and any other bulky things like that. So I guess because these vans don't have a tunnel boot, this ends up being a lot of our tunnel boot storage, but I just find it a lot easier to access in this big open area rather than trying to crawl in and out of a tunnel boot all the time. So I really like it for that. Oh, and there's a light in there. I should probably turn that off. There's a light as well. So really nice big windows in this van. One of the things we really like about it, and we've put PPF over those. So if you missed our episode where we showed all the wrapping on the van, there's more info on that. But yeah, PPF on the windows for the wind, protect those soft acrylic windows. This is just our 240 mains inlet. Wheels and tyres, pretty standard, all terrains. We've gone this time instead of mud terrains. They'll get us around just about everywhere we want to go. This is our exhaust for our Truma diesel hot water service and heater. So it's the Truma D6, same as we had in the last van. We think that's a brilliant bit of kit, but it's a tank style, so it will run out. But if you live the way we do off grid like we are at the moment, tank running out is a good thing, because it means people won't stay in the shower any longer than they should. Suspension wise underneath, we went the Cruise Master XT, so we downgraded it from the ATX suspension. I think ATX is overkill. It adds a lot of weight, adds a lot of cost. So we're able to save a bit of money there, and we're also able to save a significant amount of weight. Don't mind this hole in the side of the van here. That's where I took a vent off to do the wrap, and I haven't been able to have a chance to put it back on yet. Now in here is an isolated battery compartment, and this is where we've got our two Mammoth Victron batteries. So these Victron batteries are 24 volt, and they're both 400 amp equivalent. So we've got, I shouldn't have explained, that's not a great way to explain that. So these are two 200 amp 24 volt Victron batteries. So effectively at 12 volt it would be it's equivalent to an 800 amp system. So 400 amps at 24 volt is 800 amps at 12 volt. So an absolute stonking amount of power. We had 600 amps in the last van, and that was ample, and this is even more again. So plenty of power there, plenty of storage, just for mainly those bad weather days, or not so much the bad weather days, but multiple bad weather days back to back. You're going to want to have that extra storage there, so we're glad to have that little bit extra. We definitely could have got away with 600 amps, but having that extra 200 amps in there, or I'm converting to 12 volt and back again. I'm probably going to confuse myself if not you guys, but yeah, having that little bit extra is going to be nice. And up top we've managed to get 1400 watts of solar, so that's a pretty impressive amount of solar on such a small van, and we've kept the rooftop air conditioning this time. And we've also still got our hatches up there. So pretty impressive to be able to get all that to fit, and that's 24 volt coming down as well. So the batteries are up there in that sealed compartment at the back that's vented to keep up to date with all the latest regulations. And then under our couch inside here is where the brains of the outfit is, all the charging gear and all the circuits and all the fuses and all of that sort of jazz. This whole system, there's a fair bit to it, and it was all designed by Arizon. So Arizon are right next door to Titanium, which makes it very, very convenient. And it was quite a mission to get all this to fit in this space where we needed to get it in, which is one of the reasons we used the Victron gear. So we went to Arizon and basically had a good chat with them about what our needs were going to be for the system. After 4 years of traveling now, we've got a pretty good idea of what we wanted from the system and what we wanted it to be able to do. And they built this whole system based off those specs, and they've absolutely knocked it out of the park. There's a fair bit going on in here, so I'm not going to go through it all in the video. We're going to do a whole dedicated video just to the power system for you guys, because like I say, there is a bit in it. But essentially here, firstly, we've got that Trimmer D6 unit, so that fits in here. And then we've got all our distribution and all our wiring. Everything's very neatly labelled all through here. Then we've got our DC chargers, solar regulators, all of that gear tucked up under here. So like I said, quite a mission to get it all fit in here, but they've done a great job, and everything's still very accessible and easy to get to. And because the inverter's just through that wall there, keeping our cable runs as short as possible as well. Now the whole thing is monitored and controlled up through the screen here. This is our Victron screen. So it tells us how much power we're using from our AC loads, how much is coming in from solar, our DC loads, battery, all that sort of jazz, as well as handling all our water management as well, so we can keep an eye on the water levels in our tanks from there. But the big thing for us is that this system, it's got its own modem, and the guys back in Melbourne can log into this system and help us diagnose any potential issues, but also they can see the history of what our system's been doing. So they're not just looking at it on the spot. If we're having, you know, sometimes with electrical systems, you get these sort of intermittent issues and things that you can't sort of replicate or get someone to look at on the spot, but being able to go back through our log and see exactly how our system's been performing, when it's been working, when it hasn't, anything like that, as well as, yeah, just if we think that something's not working as it should be, the guys can log in all that. We can talk to them over the phone. So that's definitely one of the big pluses, and for us, one of the reasons that we were keen to go with this system is for that remote monitoring. It's absolutely awesome. And all this charge gear in here all talks to each other. It's all connected into the same sort of the brain, I call it. It's bloody awesome gear. And interestingly as well, we have external BMSs for our batteries. So those batteries, all lithium batteries, have to have the BMS, or a battery management system. I think that's what it's called anyway. Someone will correct me if that acronym's wrong. It's far smarter than I am, and I certainly am taking a little while to get my head around it all. But yeah, it's so far working absolutely flawlessly, and with that big 5,000 watt inverter, we can run just about anything we want off grid, which is awesome. So yeah, overall, very stoked with the system, and looking forward to testing it out even more over the next coming months and years. Up back here, this is the rear bar that comes from Wool Fabrication. Storage drawer in here. We use that for jockey wheel, grey water hose, all that sort of dirty gear. I keep one jerry can holder for spare diesel for the diesel heater and hot water, firewood carrier, spare tyre and wheel, and I just keep a water jerry can there. Occasionally we use them when we're going into town to restock and things like that, to bring extra water back to the van. So I throw that in the car, and we've got a second one in there as well, plus a bladder, plus a tank in the car. So it allows us to bring a fair bit of water back to the van when we're spending long time off grid. We've also got our outdoor shower in here, so we can connect that up to there. I keep that in the drawer here actually, I'll show you. So we plug that on there, hot and cold water, obviously if the hot water's on, and allows us to rinse our feet here by the door, especially the kids. I say us, mainly for the kids to rinse feet. Really, really handy, especially if you're camping on the beach and things like that. Being able to have that just sit there ready to go to rinse feet off and things keeps a lot of mess out of the van. Definitely worth it, and we wanted to make sure that was right near the door, which is working out really well. Now we blacked out everything to do the wrap on the van as well, so black door was an option, and this beautiful big thing we're standing under is our electric awning. So this is a carefree electric awning. We added this as an option. I can't remember exactly what the upgrade cost. I think it's in the realms of a bit over $1,000 for the upgrade, but well worth it, and simple push button operation. So I literally just turn that on by the switch here. It'll beep at me to tell me it's on. I push and hold one button. I'll just check I'm pushing the right button and then let it go. And it's as simple as that. That'll roll itself up. I can do it with the door open or the door closed, and it'll pack itself away. Now it does have a wind sensor in it, so if the wind gets up too much, it will put itself away, which is bloody awesome as well. Am I going to get wet? No, it's just leaves coming off it. It's all good. So it'll put itself all the way back in, and then it'll beep at me to tell me that I've left the power on. So you can remember to turn the power off and not run your battery flat. You can hear it there beeping, and then it'll put it in that last little bit, and it's just as simple to put it back out. So if I want to put that back out now, push and hold the extend button until it starts coming out, and then I just let it go. So like I was saying before, with the airbag system, I can get out of the car, push the airbag level system, come around here, turn that on, put that out, and we're halfway through setting up camp in a matter of seconds, and I've hardly even had to do anything except for push a couple of buttons. Beauty of that is anyone can do it. Like I said, the kids can do it, Liz can do it. If the wind gets up, it should put itself away, but we haven't tested that out too carefully. I don't want to push its limits, but if it is getting windy and Liz wants to put the awning out, if it is getting windy and Liz wants to put the awning back in, very, very easy to do, easy for one person to do. It is height adjustable as well. This is on its lowest setting at the moment, but I can adjust it from these arms here, put it up higher if I need to, so I can actually walk completely. I mean, I'm nearly 6 foot tall, and I can walk completely underneath it without hitting my head, which is bloody magic. Although if we get any rain, that is sitting pretty flat up there now. So I do drop it down just to allow for any wet weather, and just for condensation and during the morning as well, just to allow that to roll off. Okay, moving down the side, Liz will show you inside in a minute, but this is our drop down table. We went ahead and wrapped this. So if you missed our wrapping episode last week, I'm going to turn some lights on. It's starting to get a bit dark. We're losing light. Let's turn some lights on. There we go. And we've got a nice little LED in the back of the awning there too. Liz can spin around and show you that. So that's a nice little gentle light, and it reflects nicely up off the top. So gives us some really good indirect lighting. And this one here, I can flick over to orange light as well if I need to try and stop some of those bugs. So yeah, on top here, we wrap this with the same wrap that we did inside, up under the overhead cupboards and things like that, just to match in. Just a little bit of extra luxe. That would be composite otherwise, so that looks nice. And this is gives us access to the back of our kitchen cabinets as well. So it gives us that pass through, which is super handy. And one of the things we really like about this van is how much the inside and outside living are connected. So we're not running inside and out, because we do enjoy cooking outside a lot more. 240 volt outlet here, pretty handy. I use that a lot, as you can see at the moment, for our Starlink. I just sit the router in there on top of the tyre, and it gives us that 240 until I can get around to installing our 12 volt cowfish system that we're going to be putting in. But yeah, it just gives you that 240 volt without having to leave a hatch open or something like that. Then in here, the nice big kitchen, very similar to what we had in the last HS2 that we had on loan. Two nice pantry storage drawers up here, 240 volt outlet for when we want to cook out here. This whole thing slides out. This slide out part is slightly different to the previous one. The old one was all stainless. They've gone to an aluminium now to cut a fair bit of weight out of this, which is pretty handy. I did think it was probably a bit over the top having the whole thing in stainless. Adds a lot of weight. We got our chopping board here that covers up over our sink with all our washing up gear and things like that in there, all that junk in there. And in here we've got our nice big deep storage bin. So This one we keep our wine glasses, mozzie repellent, all that kind of jazz. And then in here, just a bit of extra pantry storage for all that long life stuff. And then I can reach up here as well to get spices and things like that out of there. So that all works really, really well. There is also another 240 volt power point in that drop down table. So we do want to drop that down and have extra cooking there, but we find this works pretty well. We generally have a portable induction here, cutlery drawer here, and yeah, it just works really well. We can also fit the Thermomix here at the same time. In here is the nice big slide that has our fridge on it. We went with the Mike Corman fridge. This one's a 75 litre one, so a little bit smaller, still a dual zone, but a bit smaller than the 95 litre one that it comes with. Just gives us a bit more room here for storage and things, and allows us room to potentially put a dishwasher here is on the cards, is something we're thinking about. But either way, this at the moment is just a really big storage bin. We keep our portable induction in here, and then just a whole heap of tall items like wine bottles, soda stream, big oil bottles, all that sort of stuff in there. Fits pretty well. So it is very convenient having this here, this extra storage, but not as convenient as having a dishwasher. So if we can pull that off, we will. And that's that. And then moving over here, obviously, is the other side of our toolbox. This side, this is obviously all the same stuff here. That's where our chairs and tables go. This is the back side of that same drawer that we saw from the other side. We use that to keep our shoes and stuff in mainly, just convenient spot to have our shoes. And our Thermomix lives in here on the Weber slide. So this is a barbecue slide, or Weber slide is what it's designed for, but we don't carry the Weber because we have no gas. So Thermomix gets the nod and travels in there, lives in there, and works really, really well. So that's the outside. Let's go and get Liz to give you a look through the inside.
All right, come inside the HS2. So in the doorway, on either side, I've got the fridge on this side and the pantry on this side. So it's the Thetford fridge. It is a narrow fridge, but you can see we've got plenty of storage for a week's supply of food with kids. It has got a freezer section which you can turn off and keep running as a fridge as well, which we like to do if we're running the outside fridge freezer as a deep freeze and using that for the freezer instead. On the opposite side to that, so that I can reach it from inside or outside, is our pantry. So this is where we've got most of our food storage, and it's a full Tupperware container deep, which is super handy. Cereal boxes and all that jazz all fit in here, and I like it because the person that's cooking outside can reach everything, and you can also reach everything that you want for breakfast without having to go outside. So I really like that about this design. When you come inside, this is the roof hatch, and we opted for a smaller roof hatch for a couple of reasons. One, it would allow us to have more solar on the roof. Two, it's further back in the kids' space, which I really like because it just lets this area become so light and bright. In a lot of bunk vans in particular, the back of the van's quite dark and you only have the kids' bunk windows for light, whereas we've got the door letting light in. We've got this roof hatch for ventilation, which lets an incredible amount of heat out when it's been locked up while you're traveling, and the bunk windows as well. So there's lots of natural light, lots of natural airflow in this space as well, which just makes it a much nicer area for the kids to hang out and play. So the floor is a herringbone style. It's from the laurel oak is the colour. I cannot remember the number. I'll pop that in the description below for anyone who wants to know. There was 3 different options, like a light, a medium and a dark. This is the medium version of that. With the bunks, as always, we highly recommend adding extra Siroccos into those just for, it's an easy way to cool the van down and keep the kids happy while they're sleeping. One of the downsides to having the bunks at the back of the van where the door is that you're always walking past them. And I found with our loan van that we had, the HS2, the bedding was just always a disaster and always annoyed me. So we have upgraded to zip bedding, which is an absolute game changer for quick and easy to make the beds look nice. My kids are still kids, they don't do it themselves, but I just zip it up and it's done. So really happy with these. I'll leave the link to these and a discount for these sheets is on our website if you want to go check that out. We've got 4 drawers underneath, 1 each for the kids for clothes. One is actually our laundry, our dirty laundry basket, and the other is just stuff we have for YouTube. In here is our bathroom, and it's a combo bathroom. It's a shower toilet combo. And one of the things that we really love about the bathroom is that it's a great utilization of the space. For us as a family, we spend the least amount of time in here and the most amount of time in the kitchen dining area. And so to be able to have this as a functional bathroom as a family is absolutely brilliant. So there is heaps of storage in this bathroom. So you've got the overhead above the toilet. You've got 2 marine hatches down here. We keep our vacuum cleaner, all our toiletries, everything you'd need traveling for a family. It all fits in that bathroom. So the toilet is a tiny separate toilet. It's an imported toilet from Europe, and it's not a composting toilet, but it's similar in the sense that it separates number 1s from number 2s, but number 2s go in a bag. So it is really easy to empty, really easy to maintain. We're fans. Put it simply, it works. I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but yeah, quite happy with that toilet system. We added the towel hooks. That is something you're going to have to think about, is that we take the towels off, chuck them on the bed when we have a shower, jump out, grab a towel, put them back up to dry. All right, coming down into my kitchen. So this is my beautiful kitchen. This was a luxury item purchase. This is the sagebrush stone from Corian. It's got groove marks in it, drainage grooves in it, and the sink is a fully moulded piece. So I found that while we travel, every other sink we've had has scratched, stained. We'll see how this one goes. This looks beautiful. It feels beautiful. It, I think, will add a massive... It was a pretty expensive upgrade, but I think we'll get that money back when it comes to sell the van. I think people will pay for it to have... When you come in, when you look at it, when you touch it, you're like, it feels like a kitchen. It doesn't feel like a caravan. The tapware is copper from ABI. Love it, absolutely love it. Sink is same, and it matches the handles on all the cabinetry as well. So this is the main section of the kitchen, I would say. And our coffee machine normally lives down here. And this tub here is what we wash the dishes in, whether we're doing inside or outside. So when we have dirty dishes, I haven't done the dishes at all today, we just chuck them in this bucket under the sink, and that means that whether you're doing the dishes inside or outside, you don't have to lug them between one or the other. Something that we did is we went with the dark timber overheads as well as the lower cabinetry. Most people wouldn't do this because there's this notion that you should do white overheads because it'll make the space feel light and more spacious. I feel like it does not feel any smaller in here because it's got dark overheads. I love that they work together, they harmonise, and they just make the whole space feel more unified and luxurious. So I'm absolutely stoked with that. Something that we have done, which you probably won't even notice, is that some of this timber isn't actually cabinetry. Some of this timber is actually a 3M timber look wrap. And that is because we have aluminium cabinetry. All of this and all under here is all white aluminium like this. And I didn't like it. I just wanted this to all look and feel like one type of cabinetry. So anywhere where we would have had exposed aluminium in this van now has this 3M wrap underneath, and you cannot tell what is what. I would dare someone to come in here and tell me what is cabinetry and what is film when it comes to the timber selection. It matches perfectly, and it's a really, really good option if you wanted to hide or update your cabinetry. We will probably go, we have got a little bit of leftover wrap, and we're probably going to go to the effort, oh, I won't open that, it's all my undies. We are going to go to the effort of just doing a little bit more of the cabinetry that is exposed, like wrapping places like this and stuff. So yeah, with that leftovers that we have. This is the linen look wrap that is on the walls, and when you come in, the first thing you want to do is just put your hands on it and touch it, because it does have this really light, beautiful texture. So it's really easy to clean. I don't remember the actual number for this, but it's from the textile range, and it's the linen look. So it looks and feels like linen. It's got this beautiful texture to it, incredibly durable. It's designed basically for high use areas in hotels and yachts and things like that, where people are going to constantly be touching it. I absolutely love it. We probably had over 100 people in our van at the owners rally, and they all came in and touched it and were like, oh my goodness, that's incredible. And having said that, 100 people have touched it and I'm yet to clean it, including down here under the seats where we're constantly kicking it with our feet. And yeah, our feet are always filthy. So I'm absolutely stoked how it's holding up so far, but time will tell and we will keep you updated on that. The dining room, something we did with the dining room that we changed with ours was we specified a larger table. So the original table that comes with this van is about 60 centimetres, and we just asked for a custom one that was about 90 centimetres, which would allow us to have 2 huge laptops running at the same time so that Simon can be editing and the kids can be on a school call, and also 4 dining plates with ample storage because we are a family of 4. The shape in this caravan, I really do like the seating arrangement. It's got this sort of half nib here, which this comes out if you want to take it out, but it just means that the kids have got a little bit more space and it's really easy to get in and out of. You just swing the table out of the way. This is the Lagoon swing away table leg, and like I said, you can just put it basically wherever you want to suit you for however you're using it. You can take it right out, have it as a couch space, adjust the height, all that jazz. The couch is actually it's a bit funny. It shows up differently in different lighting. It's called Eastwood Brunswick. It's got an olive green undertone to it. So the best way I can describe it is during the daytime, it kind of looks like a licorice colour. And then at night time, under that soft lighting that we talked about, it actually goes like a really deep olive green, which is really, really nice. The other thing we did that we changed in this van compared to the last van is we opted for black rubber stripping. The white always marks, it always shows. The black just hides everything. It's a much more practical colour. If you can, if it's going to go with your colour palette, if you're tossing up, both would look good, go black. Trust us on that, go black. We've got the Dometic air conditioner unit at the top here, as well as black Sirocco fans on either side. Not yet, buddies.
Give us 10 minutes.
Give it 10 more minutes, I reckon I'll be done. Almost finished anyway. And then we've got our queen bed. It's a proper queen here with the TV on the side and the full overhead cabinetries. Again, underneath there, we've wrapped the underside, which would be aluminium, exposed aluminium, and we've wrapped that as well. So that's got that beautiful timber look as well, just to remove any of that caravan feel and more of a luxury hotel sort of vibe instead. We've got nooks on either side of our beds that have got storage in them. The cabinets on either side are shelves, and then overheads are storage of gear that we don't use very often. So things like the art supplies, the jumpers and the board games and all that sort of stuff that we carry with the kids.
Well, there you have it, guys, our HS2. Let us know, what do you think of it? Leave a comment below. We love hearing your feedback. We know not all of you are fully on board and love it as much as we do. It's particularly the aesthetic. It definitely is dividing people, but we absolutely love that, and I think that's what's awesome about this space is it's not for everyone, but it's certainly for us. I hope you can all appreciate the amount of time, effort and thought that's gone into creating what is for us, we think, the best we could make of a caravan for travelling Australia. This year. We've got some big plans. We're going from the southernmost point to the northernmost point of the Australian mainland, starting all the way down in Wilson's Prom in Victoria, right through to Cape York in the north. So stick around as we get out there and use this thing now that we've put all this effort into getting it exactly right for what we want. Yeah, very excited for that, aren't we?
Absolutely. And if you've got any comments or any suggestions for places we should definitely stop along on that route that Simon just mentioned, leave them in the comments below, because we are notoriously bad at planning, and we will definitely get back to you with any questions you have. So
absolutely. Spoiler alert though, we're not going up the coast. We're not doing the boring stuff. We're going to go and tackle some fun stuff. Darling River Run's on the list already, but yeah, if you've got any other suggestions, we're all ears.
Absolutely. Don't forget to go check out our Facebook and Instagram if you want more live up-to-date information, and sign up to our website and you'll get our newsletters as well.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
See you next Sunday.
See you next Sunday. Your acting skills know no bounds.
That's right. See, flawless acting skills. So cool.
I'm surprised Hollywood hasn't come knocking.
I know, they will now.